New majorities in the House and Senate. Democrats want to raise the federal minimum wage to $15 an hour, saying they can pass their bill with or without Republican votes. Let's bring in our panel now to discuss. Jason Furman, former Obama Economic Council chairman, and Doug Holtz-Eakin, president of the American Action Forum. They join me now. Let me ask you, Doug, I saw that somebody said if Republicans can use reconciliation to pass tax bills and tax cuts, then should the Democrats then go ahead and do this if it's going to help working families, a $15 minimum wage? What do you think about that?
A tax bill is a straightforward use of reconciliation. That's why it was created, to raise and lower taxes and spending. It's a budgetary procedure. It wasn't invented for things like the minimum wage, which might have some budgetary implications, but those are incidental to the policy objective. I mean, if you really want to use the reconciliation to raise the minimum wage, you have to be willing to say, our main goal here is to raise taxes on people who make the least money. That's using it for budgetary purposes. That's not what's going on here.
Jason, is this the right way to do it?
Look, let's just ask whether the objective is the right objective. The minimum wage right now nationwide is $7.25 an hour. It hasn't been increased for more than a decade. That means year in and year out, it's eroded by inflation. We should be raising the minimum wage. The best way to raise the minimum wage would be to get a large number of senators from both parties to support it. If you can't get that, then, that's something that the Senate will need to figure out what the procedure is. But those are
that may be the
procedural
case,
details. The important thing is raise it.
Do you tack this on to a $2 trillion COVID relief bill? What does the minimum wage have to do with COVID?
The question is it a good idea or a bad idea?
Well, I asked you a different question.
The Senate rules have constantly changed in terms of, do you need 50 votes, do you need 60 votes? Originally, the procedure was to cut the deficit. Then it was used to increase the deficit. That was a new way to use the procedure. This would be a new way, too. I don't think that matters as much as, do you think it would help people to raise it? And some modest increase phased in, I think would help.
Doug, but there are real-life complications to this for business owners and for people. We do need to increase jobs. Is this the way to do it?
No, this is not the way to do that. And, the evidence is in. The Congressional Budget Office has spoken clearly on this, summarizing the research literature. This is going to cost the economy jobs. And in this moment, when we're trying to recover from a deep downturn, it's a terrible moment to do this. We know whose jobs are going to get lost. We know where the income is going to come from. Because if you write a law that says raise the minimum wage, that doesn't mean there's any more money. So the money has to come from somewhere. It's going to come from a small business owner who can't reopen when the virus is contained. It's going to come from a worker who doesn't get to go back to work because the owner can't afford to pay the full staff anymore. It's going to be taken away from those who are the worst off. And that's a terrible way to redistribute.
What about Jason's point about it being stuck for 10 years at $7.25?
Look, if you want to raise the minimum wage to something reasonable, not more than double it in the middle of a recession, that's a conversation people can have. You should also be different by location. The labor market in New York City in a healthy economy is very different than the one in the rural Midwest. So the idea that you, with the stroke of a pen, have a one-size-fits-all more than doubling of the minimum wage is really the least wise way to do this.
Jason, let me switch topics with you.
I, by the way, agree with Doug. I think it should vary from place to place. I think it should be phased in over time. I don't think it should be a huge increase this year until the economy's back on its feet. But it should be on an upward path.
Does President Biden agree with you on that?
We can debate what that path is.
Jason, do you know if President Biden agrees?
I don't. He certainly has called for $15 an hour. I don't think he's called for a particular date. There's legislation in the Senate that would do that over about 4 years. That's presumably an opening offer, and people will have to discuss, what the path is and how long it takes you to get to that number.
Think it still should be tied to the COVID
bill? But Jason, why in the middle of a recession is this the top priority? I mean, why now? Why jam it in with a COVID relief deal? It has nothing to do with that.
Go ahead.
Oh, it's a priority. A new president brings with them change, and that's what we're seeing. I think the American people broadly support a minimum wage increase, and he's trying to deliver on that. As he's not just going to do one thing at a time.
Okay, we're going to conclude this, and we're going to mark you down as a maybe, all right? But gentlemen, come back, okay? Jason and Doug, thank you so much for your time today.